Hello everyone. I'm going to do a video on Black Magic Woman this morning. This is going to be kind of an impromptu kind of thing, I think. I had something else scheduled today, but that fell through, so kind of a situation of all cleaned up and no place to go. But I've been wanting to make a video on this for a while, so this isn't going to be exactly perfect on how to actually play the lead parts on Black Magic Woman. But it's going to be kind of my take on it, kind of an analysis of how this thing fits together. So definitely, if you started watching this, hang on for the ride because there's some cool stuff in here. It's a little advanced, but if you know your pentatonic scales, there's some stuff in here that you probably don't know that is really kind of a game changer for even some of you guys have been playing for 15 years or 20 years. It's like sometimes you might go, oh, I never knew that. I mean, I know I did when I discovered kind of what's going on. Uh, and Black Magic Woman is just kind of a request that I had from someone, and so I ended up learning the song, and then I thought, well, this could make a great lesson. So and again, it's going to be kind of theory heavy, and I'm kind of rusty on the whole lead part. I learned it. At my age, I have such a hard time remembering all those parts, but um, it's good for you. There's other videos that will show you exactly how to play it. Mine's always kind of pretty darn close, but then I just kind of start doing my own thing. But the theory all holds true. So anyways, enough of that. So this song is in the key of D minor. Okay, it has the D minor. There's an A minor seventh. Notice on that part right there, it goes to the A7 instead of the A minor 7. Okay, so that's the basic chords to it. This is something that he does a lot, that they do on this G minor. Okay, and so anyways, I'm not going to get into a whole lot on that part of it. It's pretty basic chords, a lot of fun to play. So, but what I do want to go into is show you what's going on with this. Okay, so again, if you're not too far along, you're welcome to just hang out and listen. Hopefully, you won't get too confused. But this is a little bit more advanced, and it can be confusing. But if you stick with me on this, it will kind of take your brain through a few loops here, so you can see what's going on. Because there's all kinds of different ways of looking at things, and sometimes I tell my students, not that I'm some kind of great, guitar expert. I'm just kind of the average guy that's been playing music a long time and just really enjoy playing. Um, but a lot of times it's more, I say it's just how it's changing the way you look at things. Okay, so that's maybe what this is, just kind of changing how you're going to look at the scales a little bit. And Carlos Santana is perfect for doing that. Okay, so I said we're in the key of D minor. Okay, so the thing you have to remember is D minor is the same key as F. Okay, D minor is F's relative minor. Okay, so every chord is going to have a relative minor. Okay, and so think of it that way. So okay, key of F has a B flat, and so would D minor. Okay, so that's why we say they're the same, basically the same key. Okay, and so now there's a couple different ways of looking at this. We could say, okay, we're in the key of D minor. So if you're going to play the lead part, if you say, okay, play the lead on Black Magic Woman, 90% of the people, including me, I used to do this all the time. Never even thought about it. going to play a D minor pentatonic scale. Or, you know, you could go, another way of looking at it would be, of the way I like to look at it is, let me kind of back up a little bit, okay? This is an impromptu lesson with, normally I try to prepare a little better, but I just want to do something today. So bear with me on this, folks. So another way of looking at it, instead of playing the D minor pentatonic, and this is where Carlos Santana gets all the notes in his scales, is that you could say, since this is in the key of F, why not play an F major scale, okay? Okay? Or you could do that, or you could say you're playing a gun. You could say you're playing like a D natural minor scale if you look at it from this position here. Okay? But, you know, so, you know, that's okay. That's an okay way to look at it. But if you're learning guitar, that's not the best way to grow as a guitar player. So you always want to start looking at that as an F major scale, and I'll show you why. Okay, it gets back to modes, and I'm going to kind of go over that in a minute too. So we're going to say, okay, we're playing Black Magic Woman, and in the key of D minor, but instead of coming up here and playing this D minor pentatonic scale, which is fine. I mean, you could do that, but where Carlos Santana gets all the notes, and a lot of other guys, you know, when you start learning your modes, and this kind of is a video on modes as well, is that this is an F major scale. But watch this, and I don't know if I've done this in some previous videos. I may have, but here's your D minor pentatonic. Let me point this camera down a little bit. I want you to see this. So this is something you should definitely learn. So here's your D minor pentatonic. We all know and love. Now look how I can convert this into an F major scale. Okay, so well, first let's look at it this way. We're looking at from your first finger is on D, right? So that's D minor pentatonic. Okay, so you want to look at it that way. So now again, this is where you need to be a little bit more advanced. If we put our, normally we're used to doing this. If I wanted to play D major pentatonic, I would just go like this, and here would be a D major pentatonic scale, or the country scale. But we're kind of like flipping our thinking. We're going to stay here and say, well, let's just pretend like this is F major right here, okay? Okay, so basically we just converted that D minor pentatonic scale. We decided to change the way we looked at things. Have you heard that before? Change the way you look at things and things will change. I don't know how true that holds for this, but this, you know, we're just shifting our thinking. Okay, so don't let that get you too confused. We're just saying, okay, I'm going to look at this from, this is an F major pentatonic scale. I could say that, right? Okay. F major pentatonic, but I want an F major scale. But look how easy this is. I'm going to start at the top because it's easier to see it this way. This is F major pentatonic. Now watch this. Now we're going to turn to an F major scale. Okay. So see how easy that is? How you can, from a pentatonic scale, you can get a major scale. Okay, so that's kind of how you want to look at this lead. So let me go back to this position down here. Now here's an F eagle claw chord, okay? And I've showed this. Here's an F major scale here. Okay, but see how, depending on how you look at it, and again, I'm gonna skip back up here. Here's D. I could say it's a D natural minor, so watch this. Okay. But those are the same notes as an F major scale. We just started at the D, so we're looking at that as a D natural minor. But the reason it's better, at least in my book, and for the simple way that I like to do things. And again, for me, it's just more practical. I think. I mean, as far as modes go, you can really drill down really deep, and that can become really complicated. And lots of guys can do that. I've tried, doing all the, oh, you flat this, do this, sharp third, blah blah blah, and you have all these notes, but for some reason it never worked for me that way. It never. I could never use it in a song, okay, or use it on the fly. So, this method is kind of more of a practical way of looking at it. So it's better to look at it as a major scale, because eventually your goal is to learn. You want to learn all your pentatonic scales up the neck, and you want to learn all your major scales up the neck, because if you know all your major scales, basically you can play all your modes, okay? So it's better to look at it that way than look at it as a natural minor. I mean, natural minors are pretty easy to do on the fly anyways, but, again, this gets back to the Johnny Smith videos I've been making, is this is keeping you a way to organize everything, okay? But now, you're probably wondering, okay, what does he mean by these modes? Let me show you. This song is in a mode, okay? So when you're playing this song, part of the other magic of this is because it's in a mode, and I'll show you here. Again, so we have to kind of be thinking of the F major scale to find the mode that this is in. Okay, so again, this is just my simple way of doing things. So, but this, if you're kind of learning, and you're just a kind of an average guy like me, just loving music and playing, this is all you need to know. It's like this will keep you going. We're in the key of F, okay? So if you harmonize the F major scale, you end up with this. So you're going to have F, Ionian, G is Dorian, A minor is Phrygian, and then we're going to have Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, okay? And then Locrian is going to be this minor 7 flat 5, and then back to where we started, okay? Okay, so notice when I did this, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. On the D minor is Aeolian. Okay, so this is telling us that we're in an Aeolian mode, and see, and that's why it's good to know your major scale. And again, there's like lots of different schools of thought on the modes, okay? You can get yourself so confused. I've just kind of, and I've watched a lot of videos on this method, and this one just makes the most sense to me, and it's the one that I can do on the fly, or that I can understand. So basically, what we're saying is, like some people will, start on F and say that this is Ionian, and then they'll start on this note and say that that's Dorian, and so on and so forth. Well, it kind of works. It works like on the minor scale, but just by starting on different notes, it really does not give you the mode. The modes come from, it's almost like painting, okay? What is happening here is, the reason this is a mode is because we have a D minor tonal center, okay? We're in the key of F, okay? That gets back to why I say you have to think of an F major scale, okay? That F is relative to major, okay? So when you're playing this, okay, you're in the key of F, but a D minor tonal center. Then when you do, see how that gives you that tone? That gives you that Aeolian mode, okay? And so you could do this on anything going up. So what if I went Ionian, Dorian. What if I was in the key of F and I had a G minor tonal center? I think that song that they do a little bit of this, a little bit of that kind of does this thing. It's in a different key, but see, now I gave it a G minor tonal center, even though we're thinking F. Hear how that sounds? Okay, so that's what that's all about. Okay, so Black Magic Woman, and again, you can do that. Well, let me do one more real quick. A good example is Sweet Home Alabama. Okay, most people, you know, if you look at that just real quickly, you might go, oh, that's in the key of D, okay? But that is actually, it's going D, so that's in the key of G, and again, if you harmonize the G major scale, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, okay, there's that D. So Sweet Home Alabama is in a Mixolydian mode because it has a D tonal center. See, it gives you that sound. I remember one time we were playing this, and it'd been years since I played this song, and we were just, you know, improvising, and I started out playing D minor pentatonic. So and then that was like sounding really bad. So then I'm like, oh, it must be D major. It still sounded like crap until after I fumbled around and made it through that really long lead that was totally embarrassing. I realized, oh, it's in the key of G. Okay, so that's kind of an easy way of looking at modes. Okay, that's why I wanted to do this whole Black Magic Woman thing, because it's in a mode, it's in Aeolian mode, and so what you want to be thinking now, to cut to the chase and bring this all together, and hopefully that all this previous information kind of helps you see what you're doing. Basically, you can take any chord when you harmonize the major scale and make that the tonal center, and if you just play your major scale, that's creating the mode. It's like mixing colors, okay? So now on the lead, so it starts off, and I'm going to play like in a couple different positions here. The intro is this. Okay, and now you could play this, you know, somewhere higher up the neck. I mean, I just think he's playing here. Like when I listen to it, it just seems like, you know, he just gets such great notes. Sometimes it's hard to match Carlos Santana. I mean, he just milks every note for what it's worth. But where I'm at is I'm thinking right here. I'm thinking, you can think D minor pentatonic like this if you want to. Okay, again, I'm going to switch around on you. So here's D minor pentatonic. We can play it down here. It's the same thing except for this one offset. Or I can look at it as an F major scale, or F major pentatonic, or F major scale. But where we're at, we're right here in the scale. And again, if you've ever played this, played blues, this is the B.B. King box right here. So anyways, what I'm thinking of is that scale when I do this intro. We're just kind of going up to the next position there. it's good to see those scales so you're just not remembering random notes. So like when I start this song, I know, okay, this is where I'm playing at. Okay, and then when he gets to this, let me show you where that's at. So again, let's go back to our F major scale. F major pentatonic. Here's the F major scale. This one you really, really, really need to learn because you can do this on the fly. I do this all the time. Like when I'm playing major pentatonic, I'm always borrowing notes out of the major scale, okay? So here we go. So I slid out of position just on that one note, and I'm back into position. And so many cool things you can do with this. Or so that's cool, you know. And so if you know that one, and again, because part of your goal is to memorize the major scales, and you know you'll start. You know that's just one more scale that you know that you can link them together. Okay, so now see he's right out of the major scale. So and I went to this instead of playing it here. I went here so I can grab that D minor that they do in there. Okay, so that whole thing is. Okay, and then or they do like a little. I didn't do that very good, but you get the idea. Okay, so then getting into the lead, look where we're at. So here's this little second box here on our pentatonic scale. And I'm not exactly sure if that's the way he's doing it. I watched like a lot of videos of, this is like probably 3 weeks ago when I was learning this, so my memory's a little bit rusty on it, but this is the way I ended up doing it. And you know, and eventually you'll find, you know, probably, you know, if you haven't already with your learning, you'll try to get as close as you can, but eventually you kind of fall in just to the way that you want to do it. And you know, I always encourage that because it just makes more sense. So, okay, so we've got that. So again, here's your scale. You're kind of thinking D minor with F major notes in there. So you're just going to go down right up to that one major scale note. Okay, and again, that's real close. You can listen to to his video and get it note for note. It's really intriguing trying to match what he does because it's almost like time stands still on some of these notes. How he can just, for that short period, he can just get so, just so much expression out of a note. It's like just totally crazy. Okay, so we've got that. So. Okay, so let me do that thing all the way through for you. We're gonna make some sense. So, again, we're starting here on the second box. let me kind of show you what's going on a couple things there. So when you're playing this, so then right here, see he's on a G minor. The song goes to a G minor. Here's a G minor right here. So he pulled like right out of the chord. And again, another great technique, you know, like, you know, you can, not only are you mixing minor pentatonic with the major scale, the relative major scale, and now he pulls notes right out of the chord. This right here is just a note. Oops. This is just another major, oops, sorry. This is another major scale up here. Let me do this. You know, it's easier to see down here. See, that's just another major scale you've got. Oops. Okay, so anyways, again, he's just pulling out of all these notes from the major scale. Let me I'll take you through this just really quickly so you can see how this is fits together. See, that would be position 1 of your F major scale. Okay, and then here's the one we did over here. Then from see how this all fits together. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is probably I think I have a video on Johnny Smith on the major scales, but you can see how by knowing the major scales, you can mix those with the minor pentatonics, and you know you can have a blast playing on a song like this with all that. Okay, and then let me finish this up. So where I was here, then of course the next one is the one we learned. Then you have, of course, which is this one. Which was the one I ended up on there. And then again, if you want to do this, oops. Which was this one. Okay, it's even kind of confusing for me, but you get the idea. So I just basically did major scales. You know, you're used to seeing, you know, the pentatonic scales up and down the neck. If you can start seeing these major scales, that's kind of would be, you know, if you're getting more advanced, that would be your next thing, because it's just a blast on lead playing. Okay, so so that was all because of this one note here. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me do that whole thing. So. Okay. the flat 5. Okay, so then that gets you past the first lead, okay? Um, so, I mean, that thing is just chock full of cool stuff that you could use in other songs, okay? And again, you know, sorry I'm kind of rushing through the lead part. You know, there's like a lot of videos on how to play this lead. I just kind of want to show you why it's constructed the way it is or how it fits together. That's what always fascinates me. Okay, so the first lead part into the lead breaks. Okay, so that's the first lead. Let me do that one more time for a little bit slower. So again, you can see though, we're staying right into that F major scale, okay? So oops. So again, here's these same notes again. So, okay, so that's really hard to do that thing slow and do it exact. Okay, I'll go one more time for you. Okay, and like I said, please, like, you know, there's some other guys out there that really have this thing note for note and every nuance. Okay, so like I said, my lesson is kind of just showing you how all this fits together. That's my excuse, but you know, that's how this is where I'm at with it. And it just makes it a lot of fun. Let me go one more time on that last one. Okay, he just kind of ends it like that. Now the second part. Okay, so again, here we are. Here's the second box. And again, you notice that this second little riff is pretty, occurs quite a bit. Okay, it's just in its simplest form, it's just that. So you can kind of change it however you want to. You know, you're just kind of getting that tone in there. And then, so let me do that one more time. And then he does this. So, and then here's that G minor again. Okay, so let me do that second one again. Again, these little things aren't note for note. Okay, it's just it's close. Okay, so second lead. so on this part here, well, this part, well, let me back up a second. Let me show you this. And I'm, again, I don't have that note for note, but then something like that. And again, here's the F major down here. You can look at it from F major scale or D minor pentatonic, which is kind of walking right into that D minor. Okay, so that kind of gets you through the lead. The hard thing about that is just remembering all the parts. Maybe some of you young guys out there can, but I was having a hard time. I would get the first lead down, and then you get to the second lead, and you start mixing the parts up, and then the third lead, you kind of, it's a lot of information there. But the cool thing about this is that you can use this in like so many other songs. I mean, what a lot of cool riffs you can use, Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then, so basically it's just all played out of the F major scale the way I look at it, and like I said, you can look at it as a D minor, you can look at D minor pentatonic or natural minor, and definitely worth seeing all these chord shapes in there. One of the things I like to do is like when I do this song, I like to do like another set of leads at the very end, just because it's so much fun. And you could really, at that point, it's nice, to abandon, copying what Carlos did and just see if you can do your own thing. Of course, I mean, it will pale by comparison, but you can make a feeble attempt as I do. But like, for example, you could throw in some chromatic stuff in there. You could go. So that's kind of cool. Okay, just stuff like that. Another thing that's fun to do too is that if you look at, go back to looking at this as a D minor pentatonic. Okay. This is stuff I like to do just, so every now and then you just want to throw something crazy in. What if we make that a D major pentatonic by putting our pinky here? See how, notice where my pinky goes. And then we have these series of notes here. Look how they intersect against this scale. You kind of end up with this. Like this one note is off, but if you play it fast enough, no one notices, and it sounds cool. So you could do this. So say you've got. Okay, so it's just this. It really should be this note here, though, I think. But this is just something fast. So that's just kind of a fun little thing, just those little notes in between the scale. So, just kind of throw. I mean, not that Carlos Santana would ever do anything that wild, but or crazy, but it's kind of fun just to throw your own little flair, just do something not serious in there, and if you land on the right note, it's going to sound good, So, anyways, folks, I'm going to wrap this up, and hopefully that wasn't just totally fragmented. I'm really sorry if it was, but you know, maybe you can kind of see how that works with the modes. I think that's kind of the, you know, the cool thing, and try this in other songs. Look at how he does. Look at Evil Ways. I think it's Evil Ways. Again, that kind of he does kind of the same thing. Okay, um, I can't remember if it's G minor, but you know when they're playing, play around with that, and again you might say that's G minor, but look, it's actually B flat. Okay, so if you play a B flat major scale, again you kind of get that mode. Okay, so. Um, Again, I would, you know, would play around with different songs. Like whenever you see something in a minor key, you know, see if you can figure out like what the mode is. Another thing you can do too, just real quickly, and I will go on your major scale, and I'll do an A major scale just for the well no yeah let's do an A major scale. And you should definitely know this one here. You could just go like this: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and then you're back to where you started. Remember, trick I learned is if Dora plays like me, all's lost. Okay, you can kind of use that if for Ionian, Dora for Dorian. If Dora plays like me, all's lost. Okay, so you could instead of harmonizing the scale like this, you could just do that, and you can figure out like whatever tonal center is out of that scale, then that could be that would be the mode that you're in. And so, anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoy that. And again, if this was if you watched this and it was like totally confusing. Um, Shoot me a message. You know, maybe I might go back and do some lessons on the modes, and maybe you know, show you how to harmonize the major scale and go in more depth on that. Like I said, today was just something I've been thinking about and had some spare time today. Thought I would throw this together. So hope you guys enjoy this. Text me and send me a message if you made any new discoveries along the way. That's what makes it so much fun, is, you know, you're always learning new things, you know, new things you can put in your bag of tricks. So, okay, folks, have a great day. We will see you next time around. Bye-bye.